These are going to be a few simple decorations using tempered chocolate to make at home, to decorate your cake, to do various other things. It's a great opportunity to be creative.
So we've got some different things. I've got some plastic here that's got some flowers on it. You can buy these online, but when you start to look around your house when you're doing chocolate work, you start to see lots of things that would be really good for it, don't you? I'm a real squirrel. I'm like, oh, that looks good. I'll save that for my decoration.
It looks really great.
Yeah.
But if you don't have that and you can't get that, another way that you can create some really nice textured chocolate is actually using some greaseproof paper, scrunching it up and opening it back out again, and you get a really nice, really cool pattern which you can add the chocolate to, and you can create some really fun decorations, and it has like a really nice effect to it.
Yeah, so chocolate's great. You don't have to buy expensive things to do it, do you?
Yeah, exactly. You can just, it's all like trial and error as well, see what works, and you can see all these really amazing shapes and things that you can, as you say, come from your home, and you can see what you can make.
So I pinched the makeup brush as well.
Oh, nice.
So makeup brushes, obviously not used for makeup, but they're really good for adding shimmer to things.
Amazing.
So we use these because they're really nice and soft, and I'm just going to dip some into a pot of shimmer, and you can get the shimmer powders from cake deck shops and things, can't you? But they're also really good for adding another colour to our decorations. So I'm just brushing this on first, and that means it's really going to stick to my chocolate when it comes off, and I'm not going to get any powder left on the chocolate. So I'm just going to brush all that in, and then I can apply my chocolate on top. So you can start to see that I'm getting a nice coppery bronze colour. So on your paper it'd be better to do it afterwards, wouldn't it?
Yes,
so that you can.
So you can do the chocolate, take it off, and once it's set you can add dust to it, and you can get that, really bring out the different, like the scrunched up paper look to it, and it can really be quite effective.
Yeah, so that's me ready to go. Okay, so I'm just going to pour some chocolate on, just not too much because we don't want it too thick, do we? Because it's not nice to eat a really thick decoration. So I'm just going to pour some along the edge, and then I'm going to use a step palette knife. So I've just got a nice step in there, so it's easy then just to smooth it across. We can always add more if we need it, but it's much more difficult, isn't it, when you've got way too much on there to get it off.
It's really hard to take it off because it's all liquid, it's just going to go everywhere.
Yeah, so I just get a thin layer on there, and I might just add a little bit more on the back to give me a bit more structure. And that's it, I've just got to let that set, so it's really quite easy to do.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen though, if you just left it like this, it starts to curl up?
Yes, I have seen that. What can we do to prevent that from curling up if you want something really nice and flat?
Yeah, so I've got this on a small chopping board.
Okay, yeah.
And when this became touch dry, I could add a sheet of greaseproof paper on top, and then something else on top of that.
Like another chopping board.
Exactly.
Or something
a bit heavier, and it will just stop that chocolate curling up, so you get a totally flat sheet.
Amazing.
So that was mine, very easy.
So with my chocolate decoration, so I'm going to do something similar. I'm going to pour it all on one edge. You don't want it too thick, again, just enough to cover, so then you can have, again, nice thin decorations.
So again, with this, we have to watch, it's quite like hilly, isn't it? So
the thickness of it you need to make sure it's thick, because I can see that some bits are going to come out a little bit.
But we could also use things like bubble wrap, couldn't you? If you wanted
that's a really good idea.
Interesting texture, you get all the different bits of bubble wrap. As long as they're really clean, you haven't used them before, you can get them and spread the chocolate on, and then when that sets and you pull it off, you really get that texture and that shape of the bubble wrap. So you start to see all sorts of exciting things.
Amazing. So what I'm going to do with mine is that I'm going to let it set just slightly, so then I can start cutting, and I've got some cutters here that I can make some small little discs, and then I can have these little things to put on top of the cakes or around the cake, whatever you feel like is a really fun way, or however you want to decorate. Great, so the chocolate is now starting to set. It's starting to kind of have a little bit of a duller colour now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut some discs out. I can do various different sizes. So I'm going to just make a little imprint, so you can see that the circle is made its mark, and then when it's set, you can be able to pop it out really nicely.
You kind of know if it's too soft because it joins back together, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And, it loses that shape.
Yeah.
Whereas here you can see, I'm just going to cut. Here you can see that it's not running, it's set, it's still just a little bit soft, which is what you want, because if it's too hard, the chocolate will crack. And you're going to not have a nice circle, you're going to have shards. So I'm going to cut a few more of these, and then maybe a few small ones. And then what you can do with this afterwards, like you've done with your shimmer, you can shimmer them afterwards, you can splatter them with some edible gold paints, you can do loads of different stuff, which you can, it's opportunity to be creative, isn't it? You can just play and see what you want to do and what works for your cake. You can just marble the chocolates, can't you?
Yeah, different
exactly.
types of
That's a really great idea.
Yeah.
So amazing. So I've done a few discs that will pull out when they're set. But the other side, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this. So I might do some little squares, which is quite a snazzy tool. Yes. I don't think you're going to always have this in your kitchen drawer. But it's essentially, it's like mini pizza slicers or a knife. It's just good if you want to have a consistent thickness throughout, so you don't have to use a ruler. So I'm going to use this, but you can easily use a knife or a palette knife, or like a pizza slice actually is also will work really well for at home. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull it like this, and then I'm just going to pull all the way up, just like this. And then I've got really nice, perfect, straight lines, which then I'm going to move the paper and go the other way. So then I'm going to get perfect squares.
And you get so many decorations, don't you, out of a sheet?
Oh,
you can
amazing.
Get like 80 or 90 little decorations.
And it's so quick. So here I've got some chocolate squares, so we're going to let them set completely now for another 20 minutes, and then we'll peel them off. So these have been in the fridge or outside in a cool room for about 20 minutes or so until they're fully set. So we're now going to peel back our paper or acetate just to see our decorations, see how they've come out. So to do that. Amazing. So you can see that we've really got this really amazing, it's hard to explain, it looks like crumpled paper, but it's really cool. So you can break them apart. If you cut through properly, they should be able to fall out really easily. So you can see that they're all coming out. I'm not making too much effort to break them, as well as these circles. So they're all literally falling out of the chocolate, which is what you want. So you can always use this scraps, any scraps, you can melt that down again, you can do it again, so there's no wastage, which is great. So you don't need to throw any of this leftover chocolate away. I
think what's quite nice is chocolate mirrors whatever you put it onto. So that's kind of got the same sheen as the greaseproof paper, hasn't it?
Yes.
It's kind of a matte texture and colour.
Yeah, whatever you're making, I think it's a nice way to finish something. Makes it look a bit special, makes it look like you've spent loads of time doing something, and you can impress your guests and your family and friends.
And it was just a piece of greaseproof paper.
Exactly. What I'm going to do, I've got some dust that we were using earlier on some of the chocolate. So what you can do, if you wanted to make it even more special, you can just put a little bit of the dust onto a paintbrush or makeup brush as we've got here, and then you can rub it on and you can get a really...
Look at that.
Look how amazing that looks. That looks so great. It looks a bit like tin foil actually, but copper. But it's really effective. It looks really special, and immediately it elevates this chocolate into something really great, and it's a great way to decorate cakes essentially.
It's lovely. So I've used the plastic, so the textured plastic. So if I peel this one off, you can really feel the static as well, can't you, when you peel things like this off? Yeah. And then you can see that we've got this lovely texture, but can you also see we've got the shine on this one, because this one was on shiny plastic, so it's mirrored the shine, whereas that one, it's mirrored the paper. So you can really see
such a difference in how the product looks.
Yeah.
Just from the same ingredients, it's amazing.
Yeah, and this one we brushed the shimmer on first of all, so it's really stuck onto the chocolate and it doesn't come off on the hands at all.
Yeah.
So it's really great. And then with this one, we can just break it into shards that we could then put around our cakes, or we could place on top for lots of texture and things like that. I could also have cut it the same as you did, so that we've got circles and things. I think two very easy ways to do chocolate decoration.
Yeah, and it immediately looks really impressive, and it looks like you spent loads of time on it, but actually it's really quite simple.
Brilliant.
Celebrate with Lola's.